Hey streamy people, Draco Magnius here with Daluna 13, Chultian Zombie 101 and Millaninja. Unfortunately, Phase of Our Lives was cancelled, so we will be going to the Chultian Dynasty.
Postponed, you could say.
Yes, postponed for the next 2 weeks, technically. But feel free to join in. To join the game, click or type into chat !join and your preferred pronouns. I think if you have the game, you can also select which country you're part of, but don't quote me on that. That's a relatively new feature that's been added in.
I return to the counts.
Mm-hmm.
I am a baron once more.
Daluna?
Doing it now.
Okay. Alright,
Hey,
there
I'm
we
on the
go.
coast.
Alright. And without further ado, let's dive on in. Let's see, where did we leave off in the Chultian Dynasty? Oh, we had just ended a season, apparently. Let's see, stop the count of the monarch's vote. The monarch marks their preferred voting option. Extra vote, the royal gamble. 600 to the treasury if the nobles vote for the selected option. If the nobles vote otherwise, minus 200. I'm kind of happy with my current setup, I feel, so I'm just gonna move on. Also, before we get into one of the events here, the patricians are trying to lower the treasury, the counts are trying to lower stability, and the barons are trying to raise trade. Let's start with a fossil unearthed. That sounds interesting.
Let us have the money.
Are you sharing?
Also,
Yeah, you are sharing the thing. Sorry, I was looking at... Like, I'm looking at the screen, so that's why. I'm looking at the stream, that's why.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm sharing the stream.
Good news, Your Serene Highness! The new theater is proving wonderfully popular with the citizens. We've even begun the construction of a second stage arena. There's a small problem. While digging for the foundations, builders found bones in the rock. For the size of things, they must be larger than the theater, or the beast they came from must be larger than the theater itself!
Like a giant, spooky, scary skeleton? Does it send shivers down your spine?
They lower their voice. The builders are saying it might be a, flying reptile.
No one dare say the name these days. It's been 700 years since a dragon was seen in the kingdom, and back then it was a catastrophe. Or catastrophic. Alright, nobles, what are we gonna do? Carry on building? Who cares about some old fossils? This'll just lower defiance. B. Carefully excavate the bones. This will raise trade for the patricians and lower faith. Or C. Don't mess with dragons. Abandon the theater entirely. That will raise authority and raise defiance. You know what? I'm just gonna go with vibes here. Go with what you feel. Type vote and the letter that you choose.
Also,
Well,
hello, Bubba.
Hey, Bubba, how's it going?
Well, obviously this is a great find. Just think of what we could do with those bones.
It's very
I
true.
think we should get them.
Good point. How do our other nobles feel?
Look, all I'm gonna say is that I really want the theater, so, I mean, if we just carefully excavate the bones, hey, you know what we could do? We could have the theater have a dragon in front of it. A dragon skeleton. How cool will that be?
I mean, that would be awesome. I mean, some people
I
might
put
be
join me
afraid.
instead of vote me. I'm sorry.
No worries. It looks like it's unanimous anyway, so...
Also, it appears Bubba is a baron.
He is indeed. So we will excavate the bones. Builders dig the bones from the rock. Soon, the huge bones are revealed. As visitors crowd the theater for a chance to see them, trade picks up. The majority of local plays soon feature a conspicuously draconic antagonist crowbarred into the story. Crowbarred, excuse me. But despite the rise in tourism, some coastal locals are superstitious, treating the bones with fear. Some refuse to approach the building at all. Their loss. Trouble at the border. This is Bubba. Milla, would you like to read for Bubba?
Your Majesty, I simply must lodge a formal complaint. These Ashmedian lackwits that you've invited into our lands are ruining everything! They refuse to work on Wednesdays, their food is awful, and they're taking jobs away from our common folk! From our citizens, I mean!
They're taking our germs!
They took our germs! I guess you'll just have to learn to live with them. There are valued trading partners, you'll just have to learn to live with them, or we'll see what the council thinks, shall we? I mean, I do love democracy. Sure. Democracy. Oh no, Bubba says they're turning the crops into hay! Milla.
Yes. Oh, sorry. We must.
Alright, Council, what'll we do? Nothing shall be done. This will lower authority, raise defiance, raise trade. B. Do we close the border to non-essential Ashmedian travelers? That'll raise authority, raise defiance, and lower trade. Or do we send Baron the Bubble Ubba Ding Dong to Ashmead so they can better understand the culture? This will lower the treasury and increase the wealth.
Look, Baron, don't be such a racist. Learn their culture. Or use that. Call for democracy in a way that'll satisfy everybody.
Yes, I think we should definitely call for unity, but the vote is yours, nobles.
You know,
We. Oh no, it's not letting me vote because I just did it too early. Darn. Let's try again.
There we go.
you know, a little cultural lesson wouldn't be too bad.
Right? Who are we waiting on?
Honestly, I'm not sure what my compatriot thinks about this. I think nothing should be done about it, to be honest.
It's an even split. So it's up to me. Nothing or send him. You know what, I might regret this, but let's send him over to learn about the Ashmedian culture.
Is this the council's idea of a joke? I'll not be seen dead within 100 miles of that border. Mark that my words.
You're not sure if Baron the Bubble Ubba Ding Dong ever actually embarks on the voyage, but at the very least, they take your money and cease their complaints.
Boo.
Well, another job well done. Was this about a kraken?
Daluna.
A kraken! A honest-to-knife kraken just outside the harbor on my western shore!
We should send our navy to subdue the beast at once. A kraken has every advantage in a sea battle, Your Majesty. Perhaps a lighter touch is preferable. It is said, kraken can be appeased by an offering of living creatures. Heretical nonsense! Oh, sorry. You know what? I am reading all of the NPCs. If you want to read for the High Inquisitor, please do.
Heretical nonsense! You cannot be considering this, Your Majesty!
Let's see, what do? Do we send in the Patrician's Navy? That has a 40% chance success. Do we appease the Kraken with sacrifice? That's 70% chance success. Or do we just let it be? Let this problem solve itself by doing absolutely nothing. 55% chance success. I mean, it has the highest chance success, so I'm gonna go B. If anyone votes for B, you get 500 in your personal wealth. Bribery. It makes politics go.
Money.
Sacrifice!
Hoo ha ha.
Anybody remember the old PC game Sacrifice? It was from like 2000. It was actually really fun. I had it.
I don't think so.
Say every day.
Right, it's unanimous.
It's one of those like old hidden gem type of games. From what I understand, like for its time, it was super groundbreaking.
Huh.
I'd look it up sometime. It's a fun game.
Dozens of goats and cows are rounded up and carted off to noble patrician Daluna 13's hometown, where they are dumped unceremoniously into the water near their estate. To the church's great anger, the bizarre plan works. The Kraken presumably eats its fill and disappears back into the depths. Hooray! Coastal villagers celebrate by burning Kraken effigies, occasionally tossing their own goats into the sea. Hopefully you haven't just spawned a cult.
The Cult of the Kraken.
Oh dear.
The cult of the drowned goat.
Oh no. So everyone's doing pretty good with their plans. However, the patricians seem to be on the third stage. I do have my air, however, so if I can just get my stability higher, I could potentially win. So it's between us and the patricians. We may need to make a more unified approach against the patricians, but we'll see how that goes. Alright. Demilitarization. Let's... I'll start with demilitarization, because I'm curious. Chaco.
Your Grace, now that the rebellion has ended, we must send our soldiers back to work. The countryside is ravaged. We need able bodies to work the fields and the equipment to do so efficiently. Perhaps it's time to turn swords into plowshares.
Oh right, we had a rebellion a while back.
And leave us defenseless? What if Ashmead decides to invade? What if the monarch goes mad with power? What would you do then? Pelt them with tomatoes? We barons won't have it.
I would never go mad with power. The very idea!
At least not Dan wouldn't.
No, I don't see Dan going mad with power. So, what do we do? Nobles, do we let the soldiers return home to work the fields? This will lower military, raise farming, and raise and lower defiance accordingly. B, we conscript the farmers into the military instead, double down on our military for some reason. This will raise military, lower farming, and raise and lower defiance accordingly. Do we C, allow everyone to stay in their current jobs? Let them get comfortable. I can't see how that could go wrong. Or D, do we train the soldiers to become merchants and priests instead? This will lower our treasury, lower the farming, raise faith, and raise trade. The choice is ultimately yours. I'm gonna go a bit hands-off with this one, but I will do that because that is fun. Oh, and Robot has just joined in. He is part of the patricians.
Naturally, I'm going to vote A.
That's fair. We'll go with C.
Also, there is actually a magic card called Swords to Plowshares.
Oh yes,
Huh.
I am aware. It is a white enchantment card that exiles the card.
You know what? Robot just joined in, so I'm going to give him a little time to get his vote. Oh, there we go. Once again, we have a even split. We either allow everyone to keep their current jobs, or train the soldiers to become merchants and priests instead. You know, I think everyone's comfortable in their jobs right now. What's the worst that could happen if we just let everyone stay where they are, right? Right. The council's decided that you have just the right amount of soldiers and farmers, actually. Count Chocolate Zombie 101 slinks disappointedly back to the east. Another job well done. Now let's see how that spy network is going. I've received another message from one of our spies, Your Majesty. Let's hope this time her mission was successful. Alright, let's see. The spy master studies the scroll for a moment, and a smile creeps across her face. She holds it over candle flame, and it vanishes in a puff of cinders. She's been welcomed into Lord Patrician L. Robot's court with open arms and is already flattering him with fawning songs. Let's hope the other spies are just as successful. Over the next few weeks, you receive back word from more of your agents. Almost all of them have successfully wormed their way into your nobles' courts. Now we must hope they can maintain their cover. Let us wait and see. A few more weeks pass. You wait anxiously for news of your spy's progress. One day your spy master appears at your desk, her face lit by a triumphant smirk. Good news, your majesty. Our spies have uncovered some of your nobles' darkest secrets. Did you know Lord Patrician El Robot has an irrational fear of lemons? You do now. I will use this to my advantage. We even have a few illicit romances between nobles and our generically attractive bards. The blackmail writes itself. My genius knows no bounds. If this keeps up, I might have to agree. But we can't get complacent. We must see if our other spies are equally successful. Over the next few weeks, your spies send back more and more positive reports. Soon you established a spy network throughout the entire kingdom. Honestly, this is very Galinndan. He would absolutely set up a spy network if he had the means to. It's with a sense of smugness that you can call your next council session. As the nobles file in, you realize you know all their secrets, their weaknesses, everything. Chaco?
Listen, Your Majesty, I was thinking that taxes have been awfully high lately. Why don't we hold a vote on reducing them?
Oh, we can call a vote, no problem. But as the nobles walk up to their ballot box, your spy master swoops in and takes them aside. She whispers in their ear. One by one, you watch their expressions turn to horror.
By the blood of the dead, how did you know that? Only my mother knows that.
And it can stay that way. Just vote the way we tell you to vote.
I destroyed the evidence! You can't prove anything!
You'd be surprised what I can prove. I know exactly where to dig. But if you vote the way I tell you, maybe I'll misplace my shovel. Hey, care for some lemonade? Who wants to read for Robot?
Ah! Leave me alone, I'll do whatever you say!
Sure enough, when the votes come back, it's unanimous. All the nobles, for perhaps the first time, have voted exactly how you wanted them to. I could get used to this. When you leave the council hall, the nobles are quiet. They know a new era has begun, an era of cooperation. Or else. Your spy master meets you outside, unable to keep the sly smile off her face. We did it! One cross. Teaching little. We should start teaching little Dan II how to follow in my footsteps. After this, I think he'll be wearing a crown one day. At night, you sleep an untroubled sleep for the first time since you first sat on the throne. No matter their grievances, the nobles will never again dare to defy you. You simply need to mention, offhandedly, that you know what they did last winter, or that you know where they sleep at night. Okay, I won. That's the first time I won with the spy network. The patricians succeeded in turning the palace into a hotbed of bribery and corruption. But what's new about that? They failed to gain the throne and lost money in the process, a bad investment. All that remained of the Count's attempt to usurp the crown was a prisoner deep under the castle, clad in an iron mask and shrouded in rumor. In haste to...
Oh my god! That's why he's not here tonight!
In haste to complete their scheme, the barons mishandled their gunpowder. It blew up in their faces. Literally. All that was found of Baron Royal Hoshi was a pair of boots with feet still inside. Monarch Dan ruled from the shadows, getting their way in the council with blackmail and threats. The nobles were terrified, but the peasants considered it a golden age. After 15 years of unquestioned rule, Monarch Dan died peacefully in bed, and the nobles let out a collective sigh of relief. Let's see, that went for 4 years and 3 months. Spouse was Yvette of the Marsh, and the successor King Dan II. Let's check the noble stats. The wealthiest noble was Bubble of a Ding Dong at 3,200, and the poorest noble was El Robot with the starting 1,000. And these were our kingdom's final stats. That's interesting. How Dan II looks. Must have met someone in Chult. Wait, didn't I hit continue? Okay, Dan II. I guess everyone needs to join once again.
Okay.
Duke.
Back with the counts.
I think it should place everyone back where they were. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's going to do that.
I like your robot. All citrus is banned in my state.
I mean, that's a bit excessive. I know why you don't want lemons in your estate, but why all citrus?
Yeah, like have you had a really good orange?
Yeah.
Have you had like a Costco orange? Like those are the best.
For heck, tangerines and nectarines also citrus. You know, that reminds me of something, actually. The other day at work, I work at a grocery store, and I had a customer ask me one of the most insane questions I think I've ever gotten. Hey, are plums nectarines? No. No, they were not. Oh, well, they look like nectarines. Okay? Yeah, are trees flowers?
Trees do flower.
Yeah.
They're not flowers.
Oh,
Broccoli technically is a flower.
That is true, yeah.
Just like tomatoes technically a fruit, but we still don't believe that.
Yeah. I mean, technically,
And
a pumpkin is a berry.
broccoli is actually part of like a very vast and very vast family of root vegetables that are all very similar in nature.
Oh, and Robot, I think you have to rejoin. You can do that any time, of course. We have enough people to start once more. Okay, let us begin.
All citrus is banned on my estate. Excellent.
Citrus. Lemons?
Man, what will Citrus King think?
Oh my god. Chocolate, you know what this means?
Citrix is banned from his estate.
So is Orange Cassidy!
Haha!
Now that you're king, your first duty is to meet with the Council of Nobles. Let's start with the East. Chaco.
Sir. In order to finally make your acquaintance, Your Highness, I was dismayed to hear of your parents' passing.
Yes, it was truly tragic. Thank you for your condolences. To the coast. Robot. I believe Daluna was reading for Robot.
A pleasure, Your Majesty. Or Your August Majesty. I hope to see our kingdom prosper and grow wealthy under your reign.
And finally, the Marsh.
Hello, it met, my liege. Under your leadership, we'll whip this kingdom into shape.
And with that, introductions are done. The council hall immediately fills with raised voices as nobles argue. Is this what your parent fought so hard for? I mean, with the spy network, no. No, it was not. To the coronation. Your Majesty, it was an honor to serve your parent, but now it's time for you to wear the crown. You look the same age that you were when my father was in charge. That's weird. Are you a vampire?
I'm legally supposed to say no.
Fair enough. As is tradition, the council will decide what happens at your coronation. Let's get this... Oh, wait, no. Should I get changed into my waterproof robes, then? It may be for the best, Your Majesty. Shall we call the nobles in? Alright, nobles, the first decision to make. How will we celebrate Dan II's coronation? Do we host a lavish parade with jugglers and fountains of wine? B. Do we force the commoners to swear a blood oath? This will raise authority, lower stability. I forgot to mention the parade raises the lowers the treasury, raises stability. Do we throw the king in the river? That will raise stability and lower authority. Or D. Do the nobles put on a vast banquet for the king? This will raise farming and lower their wealth. The choice is yours.
We must uphold tradition!
That's why I switched into the robes. But you know, maybe the other nobles won't vote that way. What is tradition but peer pressure from dead people, right?
Yes, but it's fun tradition.
Uh,
Get ready to swim, Your Majesty.
and this is why I put on the waterproof robes. It's you.
Now, to be fair, we aren't just hauling him into the river. There's a whole festival into it. We even built a water slide.
That does
That's
sound
true.
fun.
That did cost about 500 gold, so
Hmm.
good thing we're gonna get use of that.
Well,
Do a flip.
it is unanimous. Going to get thrown in the river. It is just
Above game.
Mhm.
Look, Draco, we're just never not gonna choose this. This is such a stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
It's so funny to do it.
I mean,
No,
I
it's
knew
like,
what they're-
have you seen like those videos of like people the like big giant like bouncy
water
inflate, yeah, the giant like water trampolines in that people will just jump onto and just get thrown and just get yeeted across the water.
No, I
Yeah,
haven't.
I like to imagine that's what happens here.
Whoop. I mean, I picked that option that I picked for a reason. I knew this was coming. It's decided. The king will be thrown in the river. Down by the river. And so it begins. The nobles pick you up and carry you to the Treadwater River, hurling you into the shallow water with a cheer. When you climb back up the bank, soaking wet, the Chancellor steps forward and places the crown upon your head. Is it your imagination, or are some of the nobles stifling giggles?
You look over at what's my official moniker again?
The Lord Patrician?
Lord
Patrician
Patrician
of
of
the
Daluna
Coast.
13. It's not stifling. He is actively just laughing.
Might be a couple of snorts here and there.
Your Majesty, you have some big boots to fill. And with your parent out of the picture, the nobles will be looking for any opportunity to replace you. When you die, how do you hope the kingdom will remember you? Let's see. How will Dan II approach things? Had a decent military. Conqueror, peacekeeper, as the greatest king who ever lived. Father of the nation. Farming's not so great in some areas. As architect of a new golden age, that's trade. Not too bad. Or saint. Let's see. I'm gonna...
Become the architect. Become Seth Rollins.
I think I'm gonna go with the greatest king who ever lived. After Dan's reign, I think Dan II has a bit of an ego. I see. You're the type who likes to build lots of statues of yourself, aren't you? I suggest over the next few years you focus on improving your authority as much as possible. I am starting at a handicap, but still. Once you have an heir, I will return to discuss how your ambition is progressing. Good luck, Your Majesty. And that is our first season of Dan the Second. Meanwhile, Ilus of the Daluna 13 family, notorious coastal prodigy, scribbles on with a well-used quill on a hardwood desk, muttering in frustration. Fellow patricians of the coast, my claim to the throne is far more legitimate than that of King Dan II. Something must be done. Well, patricians, what will you do?
That was supposed to be me reading it.
Well, I usually read the air.
Oh, okay, the air.
Yeah. But, patricians, how will you try to take the throne? Will it be through subterfuge to lower stability? Uprising, raise the treasury? Or C, monopoly, raise your own trade? The choice is inevitably yours, Daluna and El Robot. Since no one's voted either.
So, El Robot, I'm gonna be honest. I feel that because our trade's already one away from max, or if it's at max, we should just go for that.
I guess the monopoly option.
I guess you'll need
We
to
control the means of production. We are the bourgeoisie.
I guess you'll need to get
Own
your
it.
top hat and monocle.
I sing!
Very well. The patricians have voted for monopoly. The patricians plan to privatize this entire damn kingdom. First, they must build up their industry. To advance their scheme, the patricians must raise their trade to 5 or more in 4 seasons. I don't know if you're going to be able to do that. I mean, look at your trade. Meanwhile, Bogdan of the Chocolate Zombie 101 Dynasty, legendary former hermit, leans delicately on a podium, speaking in a melodious voice. My fellow counts, in ancient times, the East was its own proud kingdom. We can bring back those days of glory, but not while the false King Dan wears the crown. I mean, this guy does have Dan in his name, so maybe he does have some legitimacy. But how will the counts go about their schemes? Will they use sorcery, raise authority, intimidation, raise stability, ascension, lower your own faith? The choice is theirs. Believe it's just Chaco at the moment.
The choice is all yours, and yours alone!
Since it's the easiest right now,
Yeah, that makes sense.
ascend! He wants to be the greatest king that ever lived. Why do that when you could become a god?
The counts plan to induct the king into their secret cult and offer him immortality in exchange for the throne. First, they must reduce the power of the Eastern Church. To advance their schemes, the counts must lower their faith to 4 or less in 3 seasons. Again, geez, that's going to be a tough one for you, huh? Yvette of the Bubba Lubba Ding Dong bloodline, notorious marcher trapper, stands before a blazing hearth, roaring with arms outstretched. When have the barons of the march backed down from a fight? Never! I know you'll do whatever it takes to put me, your rightful queen, on the throne. Well, marchers, what will you do? Will you try to put in a doppelganger, lower your own defiance? B, will you use propaganda, lower the stability? Or C, gunpowder, lower authority? The choice is yours.
Yeah! Honestly, our defiance is very well off. I think we should go with the doppelganger option, guys.
That is valid. Because of that rebellion, it did lower your defiance pretty well.
We're all taking the easy route this time, it seems.
Yeah. No, looks like the first goals are just gonna shoot right on by for everybody. The nobles of the march have decided to try a doppelganger plot.
Honestly, I was tempted to take the authority option because it aligns with your own goals as king.
Yeah, you could write
This is a little bit easy.
Yeah. The barons plan to swap the real king for a perfect doppelganger. First, they must gain the trust of the spy master. To advance their schemes, the barons must keep their defiance at 4 or less in 4 seasons. Alright, so far everyone's at scheme level 1, and it looks like they're just gonna coast straight into 2 once the time limit's up.
I have one less season than everybody else to do it.
Well, this is perfect. You do. You're like on easy street. The monarch can mark the preferred voting option if chosen, gain authority. Yeah, I'll take the monarch's iron choice. The iron choice is good. Alright, next season. An invitation, an exotic plant, and the honor guard. I mean, I should probably set up my honor guard first. As is tradition, each region offers a selection of elite guards, the counts with the knights of the Order of the Drowned Rose, the patricians with champion gladiators from the arena, and the barons offer a squad of battle-hardened veteran soldiers. Think carefully, Your Majesty. These guards' loyalties will be divided between you and their region. Of course, you could just hire foreign mercenaries. They'd be loyal to Coin above all. Well, I've made my decision. Wait your verdict with bated breath, Your Majesty. I mean, my father went with the Veterans of the March. I see no reason to not choose them again, but Coastal Gladiators could be fun. I think I'm going to go with the Gladiators for now. Change things up a little bit. Don't want to be too much like my father. I will make the arrangements at once. The Gladiators arrive a few weeks later. The men are bare-chested, and the women underdressed, eager to show off their bodies as much as their weaponry. They gather behind your throne and begin oiling themselves up.
Hey, yo.
Oh my.
I think this was a right decision. An exotic plant. Count Chocolate Zombie 101 strides into the council chamber, brandishing a clay pot from which grows a long leafy plant with floppy yellow flowers.
Our expert farmers have discovered a new kind of plant, Your Majesty.
Oh?
I thought you might like to name this exciting new discovery.
Let's see. Hyman's Bane, Geranium, Royal Ivy. I mean, I think we all know the correct answer is Planty McPlantface.
That meme will never die, and I am so happy about it.
Sure won't.
Descriptive. I like it.
Plenty McPlenty.
Thank you, memes from 2004.
Yes. This stuff grows wonderfully fast. It tastes horrible, but the farm animals don't mind. I suggest we grow it in the east as livestock feed.
I mean, that makes the most sense. Or perhaps it would make a nice addition to the palace decor. Alright, nobles, this is what we're going to be deciding on. Do we seize Planty McPlantface crop from the counts and plant it as the palace for decoration? This will raise defiance for the counts, but raise overall wealth. B, do we cultivate it in the east? This will raise farming and lower defiance of the east. Or C, do we just ban the crop? It could be dangerous. That'll just raise defiance. And that seems silly. I mean, we don't know much about this plant, but it's probably not dangerous. He was able to bring it in just fine. I kind of like B. We'll see how that goes. And start the vote.
Wah.
I mean, obviously I'm gonna vote B.
Apparently the barons agree. But, you know, the patricians could go either way.
I see no reason for it to not be put in the... Actually, no, I see a perfect reason for C.
L Robot says no, the nuclear option.
Yeah, well, the
Oh,
patricians are in
or-
agreement.
I say, see, I don't trust Plenty McPlenty.
How can
Listen,
you-
I've done this one. I've done this one before. I know what happens when you choose A.
He makes a good point, so I'm going to go ahead.
Alright.
I have no idea what happens with this since it's been so long since I played it, so
We shall-
I don't. I'm not the super.
Yeah, I forget too, honestly. We shall cultivate it in the east. Eastern farmers plant the fields of Planty McPlantface to support their livestock. Authorities at commanding, farming is now rampant in the east, and their defiance is at aloof. It spreads alarmingly fast, and the pastures become known as the Planty McPlantface Sea. Villagers claim you could walk for a day and not reach the end. So it's
This is totally not going to backfire whatsoever.
Nah, I mean, that's great that it's spreading so quickly. That's a lot of food for livestock. Win-win. An invitation. Without a word, Count Chocolate Zombie 101 hands you a blood-red envelope. It is sealed with white wax in the shape of a skull. Inside is a beautifully written invitation to an event called the Crimson Vigil, due to take place on an autumn night later in the year. Suppose I shall attend this event, whatever it is. I believe my father talked about it at one point.
I will see you at our next vigil, Your Majesty.
Indeed. And that's our season. Alright, we're into auctioning time, everybody. If you want to fund something, put !fund. X will be the character code, and Y is the amount you're pledging. You should be able to see your amount of wealth if you hover over the extension if you are on the PC, or you can see it in the rankings over here in the richest nobles. Our options are an aqueduct, which will raise farming for the barons, or they could build a prison, which will lower stability overall for the kingdom. The counts could build a deer park, which would lower their farming, or they could build an observatory, which lowers their already low faith. Patricians could build a grand bazaar, which will raise their trade, or a thieves guild, which will lower their trade. Let's get to the auction. We'll see what wins.
I mean, I think there's only one thing here that really affects the overall game.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the counts could get that observatory to guarantee. I mean, they're already in a perfect position, but they could put themselves at 0.
I mean, frankly, I'm not wasting my money on this.
Fair. Looks like the barons are trying to get that aqueduct built. It might be the only thing.
I mean, increasing the farming would be great.
Yeah, farming would be great for us.
I don't need to drop my farming because my farming is pretty good.
And I suppose the patricians could do the same thing with their trade if they wanted to do the bazaar, which looks like exactly what's happening. Unless the counts want to throw a monkey wrench in and trying to lower their faith, I think this is how it's going to go, but there's only 2 seconds, so the time is up. The barons get their farming increased, and the patricians have increased their trade to its maximum point, which really helps monopolization. Let's start with a spouse. Your Majesty, it's important to find a spouse sooner rather than later. I'll take the liberty of finding eligible candidates. What's your preference, men, women, or do you not mind? Women. Thank you, Your Majesty. I'll send out messengers to the most influential noble families in the kingdom. Let's see what they have to offer. And we've done Crimson Vigil before, so let's see the costly crossbows. As you're walking beside the palace parade grounds, a crossbow bolt whizzes past your head and shatters against the wall behind you. Baron Millaninja approaches, out of breath, waving frantically. He has a sleek, fancy-looking crossbow nestled in one hand.
Great call, Your Highness! I nearly took your head off!
What in the 7 hells are you doing with that?
Sorry to scare you, I just wanted to show you this crossbow. Can shoot 3 bolts a minute and then punch through Ashmedian armor at 500 yards. Beautiful, isn't she? Trouble is, to achieve just such accuracy and power, she needs to be crafted from springwood. It only grows in the forests of the coast, and those coastal bastards charge exorbitantly for it.
That's the free market, I suppose.
Pah! If this is what the free market looks like, let's put it in chains, is what I say. The barons of the March are guarding your borders, Your Majesty, and yet we can't afford to buy the weapons we need. If you want to keep your kingdom safe, the patricians must stop price gouging.
Daluna, your response?
Your Serene Highness, this is outrageous. These barons just want a bargain.
Well, then it's time to put this up to the council. Do we put a price cap on the sale of Springwood? Defiance will raise and lower accordingly. Trade will be lowered for the patricians, I wager. And wealth will go down 150, but the military will go up for the barons, who are already at 10, so, you know. B, do we order the patricians to send Springwood to the barons for free? That seems excessive. It will raise and lower defiance accordingly. lower trade, lower wealth for the patricians, and raise military. See, do we refuse to limit the free market that will raise defiance, raise trade, lower wealth for certain people to 150, and lower the military? Or do we just plant Springwood Grove in the marsh? Has a 40% chance of success, but I mean, that is one way, technically, to resolve this. What do I want to do? I would like to use the Iron Choice, but I don't know which one I'd want to go for. I say...
I mean,
price.
frankly, none of these options really do much.
Yeah. The choice is, of course, yours, nobles. We could try to gamble on a 40% chance.
Why not?
Right? Looks like Millaninja... Oh, wow. It looks like a bunch of people have chosen D.
I'm just going
Sure.
to say, you know what? Give him the damn wood. It strains the military for the kingdom. It's good enough for me.
Alright.
I was gonna vote A, but I would have been heavily outnumbered.
Yeah. I apparently picked the wrong one to put the Iron Choice on, but we will plant a Springwood Grove in the marsh and see how that goes for us. It failed. A few weeks later, a wagon load of Springwood seeds arrive in the marsh. They are planted painstaking rows outside of Baron Millaninja's estate, tended by his best farmers. Unfortunately, the stony soil and bitter weather in the marsh proves too much for the seedlings. Nothing grows in the Springwood Grove, and the barons grumble about your decision as the patricians ratchet up prices. Trade can't go any higher for
Hey,
the
you know what?
patricians.
I'm just gonna say, we did it your way. Now you do it ours.
Unfortunately, the marsh has gone down to 9 military from 10, and they have lost some of their wealth. Their defiance has gone up because of it. They're getting dangerously close to not being able to meet their goal, but we'll see. The Crimson Vigil takes place in a bleak castle atop an eastern hill. Your journey takes weeks, and your baggage train keeps getting stuck in bogs. Guests at the Crimson Vigil compete in who can dress the most ghoulish and frightening costume. What do you dress as? Let's see. I mean, I know the one I want to choose, but I don't have the funds for it.
You dress as a carpet.
The most terrifying of all costumes, carpet. I'll go with
Shay.
I'll go with a demon with horns, cloven hooves, and red skin. The red dye makes your skin itch, and your hoof-like shoes are difficult to move around in, but you strike a startling figure. As you're assessing your appearance, Count Chocolate Zombie 101 sweeps in dressed as a living corpse.
Welcome, welcome! I see you're dressed as one of the servants of the seventh god. How delightfully blasphemous. Please, remember to stay in the upper levels. The dungeons are out of bounds.
You know what?
Otherwise, you will be seeing them for quite some time.
Interesting. In the ballroom, you find the counts gathered, all dressed up as frightful monsters. Wolfmen, pumpkinheads, witches, the IRS. Waiter glides past holding a tray of canapes, and a pianist plays a mournful tune.
The Crimson Vigil begins at midnight. What role will you take? A mourner, or were you willing to portray a hound of the betrayer? I assume your father told you what is what.
Yes, yes. You know, considering how I'm dressed, I think I'm going to play one of the hounds of the betrayer.
Ah.
The counts gather. After Count Chocolate Zombie 101 delivers a short speech about remembering the old ways, a flaming crown is placed upon his head.
I will be playing the King in Exile this evening. The Hounds of the Betrayer will try to catch me, but fear not. I am swift as a falling star and old as the hills.
One of those seems to contradict the other, but okay. Face after the King in Exile. Chocolate Zombie 101 runs down the corridor, flames licking behind him, and you give chase. A dozen other hounds of the betrayer run alongside you, howling and yipping enthusiastically. Somehow, despite the silly costumes and massive flaming hat, Chocolate Zombie 101 is quick on his feet. Catching him won't be easy. Head back to the mourners without catching your prey. Chase after him is a 50% chance. Slip back into your chambers, abandoning the game. I mean, obviously I'm going to participate. Let's do a coin flip, everybody. Your stupid hooves slow you down, allowing Chocolate Zombie 101 to slip away. He's somewhere in the castle, but you'll never find him now. Fortunately, the coin flip failed. To your surprise, the counts are ecstatic that the king in exile evaded you. They declare it a good omen and smash a bottle of red wine in celebration. Chocolate Zombie 101 does not reappear. Their defiance has gone down to a 1. After that, the music is more cheerful. The counts dance and chat long into the night. At dawn, you board your carriage and begin the long journey back to the capital. And that is that season done. It's tax season, everybody. Let's see. I think I'm just going to go with a nice level tax. We've just started after all, and it'd be a bit cruel to ruthlessly tax someone. Although, I could start hurting the Baron's goal by raising their defiance. And they are more wealthy than the other regions. I think I'm gonna go with that. On the plus side, I mean, it's only up by a point.
Rubble, rubble, rubble.
Towering Vines, Plague Ship. Well, let's start with the eligible options. I have found 3 potential matches for you. 1 eligible young woman from each of the kingdom's 3 regions. Choose wisely. You'll be securing a powerful alliance. Yes, I know. Chancellor leads you to a great hall where they arrange 3 portraits on easels. For now, each is covered by a cloth. Alright, let's see the eligible bachelorettes. They whisk the cloth from the first portrait. This is Matilda, eldest daughter of the Eastern Chocolate Zombie 101 Dynasty. Apparently they had a hell of a time getting her to smile for this portrait. Spends most of her time indoors, poring over musty tomes. Half the East are in love with her, apparently, and the other half hate her. Very divisive. Intriguing. From the coast, we have Dominica, a wealthy heiress to the Lord Patrician L. Robot estate. I mean, just look at her, she's gorgeous. And apparently she's got a silver tongue, too. Her interests are typical of the coast. Money, 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 and making more of it. But, to her credit, she gives a lot to charity. You know what, I like that. And finally, we have the Marsh's offering. Eve Me, scion of the prestigious the Bubba Ding Dong bloodline. The Barons seem a little scared of her, though. I can't work out why. Like most Barons, her great passion is hunting. No beast is safe from her crossbow. She was high up in the army, training troops, but was dishonorably discharged for some reason. I don't know if I like the sound of that. What do you think? Of course, by picking candidate, you'll anger the other regions, but you'll gain a lifelong alliance. Yeah, I've made my decision. I'll go with Dominica. Excellent, I'll make the arrangements. Alright, I should try to work on the others too, but I'm gonna have a hard time on their goals. What is this about, a plague ship? The Royal Navy has stopped a ship in the harbor of Thalassus, Your Majesty. It's a merchant vessel from Danea, and the crew have come down with some kind of plague. Captain refuses to go home, saying his crew need food and medical attention before offloading any cargo. Daluna, you were reading for Robot, right?
That ship is carrying fine silks and dyes worth thousands. I don't care what happens to the crew. We need to secure those goods.
I mean, that sounds pretty typical of that region. But let's learn more about this plague first. The infected have high fevers, oozing pustules, uncontrollable vomiting. Sounds like creeping scourge, which bumped off half the kingdom a few centuries ago. Let's call a vote, everybody. So what do? Do we A, allow the ship to dock and offload its goods? This will lower defiance, lower trade, lower military, lower farming, and lower stability. B, do we quarantine the ship but take the goods? That is a 50% chance of success, literally a coin flip. Do we C, quarantine the ship and toss the goods into the sea? This will lower trade, raise defiance, and lower wealth. Or D, do we just sink the ship and all aboard? Trade will lower, defiance will go up, and wealth will go down. I do like a coin flip, but of course the choice is for the nobles to make. And yes, Bubba, I did tax you heavily, but it was necessary. For the greater good, I'm sure you understand.
Goods are replaceable. People aren't.
That's true. I mean, if you sink the ship, that would be with the people on it, I think.
Yeah.
Alright, so right now it's a three-way tie, but some people have yet to vote. So I'll hold off for a little bit before we get all of our votes in.
Look, I'm going to say, if we coordinate or quarantine the people on the ship, yes, a lot of them might die, but we can take the stuff. And that'll increase everything for us.
Alright, so it looks like it is once again up to the king to decide. Well, I think we're going to go with the coin flip. I do like a coin flip.
RNG. RNG.
The dyes and silks are carried
Hey.
into port. Much to Lord Patrician L. Robot's satisfaction, the crew are left to wait out the infection on their ship. We have succeeded. Authority has gone up, trade can't go any higher for the coast, their defiance can't go any lower, and L. Robot specifically has gained an increase in his wealth by 300 gold.
Hey! What the hell, man? What did you share it with me?
That's business. Fortunately, no plague is reported in Thalassus or anywhere else along the coast. 2 months later, the Navy board the quarantine ship and find nothing but corpses. Well, that sucks for them, but hey, it worked out pretty great for us, so all's well that ends well. Oof.
Lovely plant faces flourishing, which is wonderful, but a few naysayers are concerned. Oh, it is ridiculous that vegetation only swallowed a few villages. It's perfectly fine. They weren't of much use anyway.
I'm sorry, villages? Whole villages? Well, Council, what should we do? Do we just let Planty McPlantface flourish? This has a 70% chance of success thanks to our stability. Do we offload the excess Planty McPlantface to Ashmead? This will lower defiance, raise trade for the Counts, and increase the Count's wealth. Or with a 90% chance of success, do we order Eastern farmers to manage its growth? Maybe cut things down a bit and make it more manageable. The choice...
I mean, it does have a 90% chance of success.
Yeah, honestly. With a 90% chance of success, I'd be a fool not to make it a Monarch's choice. But, let's go. Right. Looks like the Barons are united in letting Planty McPlantface flourish, but the Patricians have yet to vote. Three seconds on the clock. I will hold off for just a little bit, play a little cut and loose here. Daluna, thoughts? Oh, there we go. Also to the east. How about you, L. Robot? Thoughts? Give him just a little bit more time. Although it's clear who the winner is. Alright. We will order the Eastern farmers to try and manage it a bit better. Farmers of the East try to keep Planty McPlantface in check. It's hard work, with the scent from the blossoms causing euphoria, then exhaustion. But the swamps of the stuff are under control, for now at least. The farming has gone up to a whopping 10. all's well that ends well. And unfortunately, I have not curtailed the others. In a tiny village far to the east, two counts meet in a derelict tavern. No one dares to even glance in their direction.
Lowborn all across my lands are rejecting the ninth god.
Yes, and tithe collectors don't dare knock at the door to my keep.
Now, we must not falter. If the king grows proud, we can offer him the ultimate reward. Immortality. First immortality, then bitches.
Excellent. For the next stage of their scheme, the counts must raise authority to 5 or more in 4 seasons. Oh, and that's what I need to get to. They are perfectly in line. Ooh. That's no good. See, the royal gamble. I do like the monarch's golden choice. I'll get rid of... I haven't really used veto at all. But veto could be good in the event I need it. I'll get rid of monarch's choice for the monarch's golden choice. They basically have the same purpose. Right. Devotees leaves, an eerie feeling in the royal wedding. Let's start with the wedding. Your wedding to Dominica is naturally the talk of the kingdom. Nobles and peasants alike travel from across the realm to attend. For a week and a day, the capital is one giant party. Feels like you're the only one not taking part. Instead, you're getting ready for the ceremony. Soon enough, you're standing in St. Bertrand's Cathedral with Dominica at your side. Does anyone want to read for the Archbishop before I continue?
Do you take this woman as your lawfully wedded wife?
I do.
Then I pronounce you king and wife.
After the wedding, of course, there's a feast, and after the feast, a dance. Your new wife, Dominica, laps up the attention, delivering a witty speech, which she flatters you outrageously. Stability and authority have gone up to 8. Defiance has been lowered in all of the regions. By the time you find yourself alone with Dominica, it's past midnight, and you've never felt more tired. You danced so very beautifully. It was such a wonderful day, wasn't it? Agree. You endure a long conversation in which Dominica seems determined to flatter you relentlessly, and agree with everything you say. By night's end, you still don't know who Dominica really is. Her real personality is concealed beneath 100 layers of etiquette and a literal mask. You go to your separate bedchambers, still strangers. An eerie feeling. Ominous.
I am most pleased with the new aqueduct we built on my land, but farmers believe the aqueduct is cursed. They refuse to use its water on their crops.
Why in the 7th hells do they believe that?
Nobody knows. They just say it gives them a creepy feeling. What should we do?
It seems the vibes are atrocious. Well, what...
The aqueduct just failed the vibe check.
Yeah, unfortunately. So what do? Do we have the High Inquisitor perform an exorcism? Unfortunately, that only has a 30% chance of success, because of the faith being so low in other regions, it seems. B, do we paint puppies and clowns over the aqueduct to make it less creepy? The farming will go down.
That's not going to make it less creepy.
Yeah.
Daluna and I know that very well.
Yeah. Do we order the farmers just to stop complaining? Or D, do we raise the aqueduct to the ground? This will lower farming and raise defiance. I will start the vote. Let me think. Do I want to use any of... I'm just going to veto that one, because it's no way it's going to win. No way is...
I mean, obviously, we should order the farmers to stop complaining, right, guys? Right?
Could one of the mods get that? It seems someone has
Got it.
posted.
Be gone, foul demon.
Thank you.
But
Was... do you think that's where the eerie feeling came from? That bot?
Seems they're unanimous. Just
Yeah?
stop complaining.
You just, come on. Be cool, peasants, be cool. Huh. That's odd. This seems like it should be a narrator line, but it's showing Milla, so, Milla, would you like to read this?
Alright. You order the farmers to overcome their superstitions and get back to work. Grumbling, they do so.
Alright, well that's been solved. And I'm sure it'll
Nice.
never come up again.
Your Highness, it's a disaster. After we culled the Planty McPlant face, some misguided souls have set up a camp in the remaining patches. They say it's unjust to destroy it, and it can be kept in check as long as they feed it to goats every now and then. They call it their home now. I feel we've created a cult.
You know, honestly, I was expecting the Kraken cult to be a thing. I was not expecting the Planty McPlant face cult. Alright, what do we do? Do we remove them by force? That is a 50% chance of success, thanks to the military in the east. B, do we get an alchemist to just smoke them out? That is a 70% chance success. Or do we just leave them alone? They're not doing anything wrong. They just want to live in Planty McPlant face, man. Peace and love, you know? Going for the 70%. Actually, no, you know what? Who wants free money for B?
I was gonna vote B already, so let's fucking go.
I need more money.
Roll them bones. Praise to our Jesus.
Alright, it looks like we have a unanimous decision. Oh, alchemists! Oh.
Oof.
The Eastern Counts hire alchemists who whip up a vast amount of irritating smoke. However, it has one side effect. Terrifying hallucinations.
Oh my god, they made weed!
Oh, no.
That shit ain't weed, that's TLC.
Yeah.
THC, yeah.
The villagers return to their homes, where they suffer from night terrors for the rest of their lives. The Planty McPlantface Sea becomes a known place of horror, shrouded in dreadful myth. Their defiance has gone up to 3, their farming has gone down by 1, and stability has unfortunately also gone down.
We've created medieval PCP.
Oh no. In a dingy seaside tavern, 2 patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. Daluna?
The coast as economy has never been better. We're making more money than I know what to do. Money bleeds money. I've made a series of investments that will improve our profits even more. But what do we do with all the rest of this gold? Time to start buying things, of course. Land, road, bridges. We'll buy the whole kingdom, piece by piece. But first, the king must despair need for our gold.
To advance their scheme, the patricians must lower the treasury to 1,500 or less in 2 seasons. Uh-oh. I need some money fast, apparently. Deep in the forest of the marshes, Baron the Bubba Ding Dong has gone boar hunting with a few of their close friends. I guess I'll read for Bubba, so you're not talking with yourself. Fate is against us, friend. We aim to win the Spy Master's trust, and she still watches us with an eagle eye. How goes the search for the lookalike?
Not well, I'm still looking. The best I found is a peasant with the wrong-shaped nose, the wrong-colored eyes, and a wooden leg.
Huh. Don't let that discourage you. Keep searching. Our doppelganger is out there. I'm sure of it. Baron's aim is to lower their defiance to 4 or less. I mean, you are almost there. You're just 1 point away.
Yeah, if only we didn't get hit with so much freaking crap.
If only. Tragic, truly. Helping hand. Oh, looks like we have nothing but patrician ones. Let's go with, the rewards of prosperity. It's my cousin Jinbei. Dylan, I believe you were reading for Robot?
Your esteemed highness, merchants are visiting from the coast far ahead as Vermeer and Astras. Our quarterly figures are stunning.
Your quarterly what?
Money! Lots and lots of money!
Hello, I like money.
Your Highness, this coastal economist has an audacious idea for all this wealth. Call it an experiment. We give the peasants gold, whether or not they're working. This will ensure a base level of comfort and security for all. UBI, interesting.
Okay, I'm okay with this.
Ah, a splendid plan. It would help everyone in the coast live a decent life. Dan the Second, you'll say yes, won't you?
Yes, below, what are you saying? That we should hand our cash out for nothing?
With respect, how is that different from patricians receiving fees from their serfs?
That's completely different. Your Serene Highness, this lunacy cannot be considered.
Well, Council, we're just gonna have to vote. Do we implement this new economic strategy in the coast? This will lower some wealth, raise defiance, raise stability, raise farming, and raise trade. B, do we encourage merchants to visit other regions of the kingdom too? This will raise and lower defiance and raise trade. C, do we demand a one-time extra tax from the patricians? They can afford it. This will lower your wealth
No, I can't!
by 750 and raise the treasury by 1,000. Do we raise defiance and raise defiance? Or do we host a financial summit for the capital to celebrate the patrician success? This will lower defiance and raise their wealth. Okay, but what if I give you money to implement the economic strategy?
Money for the tax.
I mean,
Money for taxes.
I could theoretically do that. You would lose some wealth and gain some back to lower the costs and boost the treasury, but it goes against what the patricians would want. I like the idea of putting UBI into the game, though, so, if you guys want money, A.
I'm going to vote for that, only because it doesn't hurt what I'm wanting to do.
Yeah.
Alright.
Miller has chosen chaos.
Ah, dang it, I put a space in the vote.
I'll give you a moment to retype it. It seems the barons were united for wanting to tax the patricians extra, which is fair, but it looks like...
It doesn't hurt us.
A has won.
And we can always just get that money back later.
Yeah, I did, but I like the idea of putting UBI, even in a fantasy. I'm so pleased. Let's see how it improves the place, shall we? Many patricians are furious. Not only that, but other nobles watch anxiously, worried about this outrageous new strategy spreading elsewhere. You've lost some of your wealth, patricians, and your defiance has gone up. Actually, defiance has gone up for everybody. But their fears are unfounded. Freed from the least sum of the backbreaking worry on how to pay for their next meal, peasants praise the crown and the council, raising our stability to a 10. Farm owners treat their workers better for fear of them leaving to work elsewhere. The sick and infirm no longer have to work themselves to death for coin. The coast flourishes, though the patricians give you no credit. Farming has gone up to 8, and their trade is maxed still. A helping hand. Dan, I have something I wanted to ask of you. What can I do for you? As you surely know, I run a very successful jewelers guild back home in the coast. But the current laws are a little restrictive for my trade. Lots of tariff and regulations, you know how it is. I was hoping you could push for some changes in the council. Eliminate some of the import duties on attaché jewels, perhaps? You want me to give the coast preferential treatment? I think it's only fair. The other regions just can't compete with us in the jewelry trade anyway. I'll assemble the council, we'll see what they say. Ah, excellent. I'll see you there. Alright, council. Do we reduce imported taxes on gemstones from Atesh? This will raise defiance, raise trade, but increase the treasury by 1,000. Do we ban the import of all Atashi gemstones? This will lower trade, raise defiance, and raise authority. Or do we just do absolutely nothing?
You know, I am all for... You know what? Let's let them have their fun. Get them to reduce their import taxes. Surely nothing can go wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll go great.
I would vote to do nothing, but as Her Majesty is a member of my family, I see no issue in letting her have her way.
What have they done for us? Rubble.
Actually, I could just say this. Why am I typing that out? Toxic 1562 redeemed Choo Choo, but unfortunately Choo Choo is only for the Spirit Tracks, the stream. I don't have like a sound effect for it. It is unanimous. Reducing the imported
You know, you don't have a
tax-
sound effect for it, but I'm gonna give you this.
that's close.
There, you got a choo-choo. That even kind of sounded like a choo-choo.
Kind of. The other regions are outraged by the clear nepotism that's taking place, but Dominica pays them no mind. As profits pour in, she even shares a portion of the income with the treasury. Authority has gone up to 9, Defiance has gone up in the Marsh, in the east, the coast has gone up with trade, but they are maxed, and we have 2,050 gold in the treasury, knocking off the patricians' plans a little bit.
This kind of threw a monkey wrench in everything we were supposed to do.
Yeah. Looks like the coast is doing well because they're married to my plans at the moment. Your Majesty, the richest Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, of course you realize this means war. You know what must be done, barons? If we can't have our way with our defiance, we must surely rebel.
That's true. That is an option. Your Majesty, the richest merchants in the coast have bribed the patricians to give them an exclusive charter. They now control all trade of glassware and jewelry, the coast's most valuable goods. It's a monopoly, Your Majesty. They're scamming the public by fixing prices, pushing smaller traders like myself out of the business. Something must be done. Alright, Council, what do we do about this? A monopoly? That just sounds like good business. Trade will go down, stability will go down, but wealth will go up for those patricians. B, do we demand the treasury get a taste of the bribes? Treasury will go up even further, but stability will go down. Or C, do we declare exclusive charter null and void? This will raise defiance in the patricians, lower the wealth, raise our trade, and raise stability. I mean, I really don't
What's
have
wrong with a
anything-
monopoly? Look, if we're the best, then let's just enjoy the splendor of that. Why affect us?
It's a monopoly. I say we make the charter null and void.
I mean, the patricians have voted, understandably, the way they would vote.
Look, we give the best products. Do you really want there to be some cheap knockoff products into the middle?
I mean, competition is good for the economy.
Says who?
Economists, I think?
What the hell do they know? They don't sell anything, they just talk about money.
You order soldiers to break up the monopoly, accompanied by even more fearsome threat. Lawyers. The charter's declared illegitimate. Many patricians lose their investment. Their defiance has gone up to 4, and their wealth has decreased. Small traders in the coast flourish once again, and prices return to a sensible level. The common folk rejoice. Trade and stability can't go any higher. Alright, and that's it for that season. It's time for an auction. In the Barons, they could raise their trade with the Grand Bazaar, or they could lower their military with a stadium. The Counts could raise the authority of the kingdom by voting for a monument, or they could lower my authority by doing a theater. Considering your goals, probably not going to do the theater. The patricians can make a cathedral to raise their faith by 1, or make a prison to raise lower stability. The choices are yours to fund. I'm just going to say it would make sense to do the monument, which does seem to be where some of the funds have already started going.
Pumping some money.
Interesting.
I'm trying to think of, like, in character what the cathedral would be to. Would it be basically just a bank?
Maybe. I think it would be technically to the 9th god, but I could very realistically see the patricians making a bank of money. Oh, looks like D and F are going in. Stability and authority are both getting lowered. Unless we can pump a bit more money into that monument. Of course, Chaco being the only county's at a bit of a disadvantage. Unless one of the other groups want to. But there's only 3, 2, 1. That wasn't happening. Unfortunate.
Above game, I'm like, there's nothing that'll give us any good reason to buy anything. The prison makes really no sense.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate. Let's see. Call for apprentices.
Ooh, about your heir.
Adherence. About your heir. Your marriage to Dominica has grown strong and steady. Like an old castle wall, though it began as a political arrangement, it's blossomed into something like love. Aww. It's high time you thought about an heir. Congratulations are in order. The royal wedding was a magnificent affair. But something's still missing. You need an heir. You need someone young whose loyalty is assured. A child of your own would do the trick, even if they're a bastard or the youngest of your many cousins. My wife and I will have a child together. There's love in this marriage, so I don't see why not. The traditional...
It's actually a marriage based on love, for once.
Yeah. No one will object to that. I'll arrange for you to take a month off from ruling so you can get down to business. Alright then. What's this about mysterious disappearances?
For the last few months, Your Highness, maintenance engineers have been going missing from your new aqueduct. We don't know if they're just deserting because of the creepy atmosphere or if something more sinister is afoot.
What can be done about it?
A witch has turned up at the site claiming she can help us solve the mystery, but she'll only talk to you directly. She's insistent. Of course, the church will be furious if we seek help from a witch. They'll want us to send inquisitors after her.
But what have the church done for me lately is the thing. Do we send a team of inquisitors after the witch? That is a 40% chance of success. B, do we have the king seek help from the witch? That will lower faith. Or C, do we just ignore the witch? The sheriffs can investigate these missing people. I'm sure it'll go great. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna like the witch option. But the choice is yours, nobles. How will you vote?
Every time there's an involving thing of a witch, I have to say it. Burn the witch!
Listen, we like witches in this country. It wasn't official or anything, but the king was in fact a witch.
Yeah.
Alright. Looks like the tables are clearly in the B. Yep.
I'm like, look, it's either B or C, and really, does this actually have to be bad for the witch?
Yeah. Excuse me. You would seek help from a witch! This kingdom grows more corrupt by the day. Authority is now oppressive, and the faith is now irreverent in the marshes. It's a few weeks until there's a free spot in your schedule. from all the fun I've been having with the wife, you make the necessary arrangement to travel out to the marsh. Naturally, your nobles gossip that you're running around at the beck and call of some peasant witch. This hag better have something important to tell you. What's this?
I was to say, before we start the next one,
Oh, yes.
is it possible to take a break?
Oh, yeah, we could definitely do that. We have been going for a bit. Let's get the Be Right back up. Stretch our water, drink our legs. I am running low.
Hell hydrated. Here in Texas, it was 101 degrees at 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Jesus.
Damn.
We were right now it is 9:45 or 9:48. It's still 89 degrees outside.
Whew.
We don't have anybody in the state of Texas watching this, or anyone around the state of Texas, drink water and pray to whatever god you worship that this heat wave will go the fuck away. Because today was 103 at max, tomorrow's gonna be 105.
God damn.
Well, Daluna, you'd probably be happy if you were in my neck of the woods, because it's currently 59 degrees where I'm at.
I would love that. I miss the cold temperatures. I want to go back up north. Really, I want to go see my best friend because, like, a friend of ours is getting married this weekend. I can't go because I'm starting school next Monday. But anyway, I'm gonna go get some water and go to the bathroom. Oh, yeah.
Have returned.
Welcome back.
And speaking of hydration, I'm gonna just post something real quick in the call text chat. There we go. I really want to turn this into... Like, if I can figure out sound emotes, maybe I'll do this as a hydrate redeem. I'll play it for chat.
Drink water, drink more water. Just because you're not thirsty doesn't mean that you don't need it. Gotta drink water, drink more water. If you sweat it out, you need more electrolytes. Drink water, drink more
I return.
water right now.
You got this.
Welcome back.
As is tradition, because it's Tuesday, I have tacos.
Nice.
I've always kind of been a taco minimalist. I just go meat, cheese, and lettuce.
I've never really been a fan of tacos. I don't like corn tortillas specifically, so it kind of ruins the whole taco process.
I use flour tortillas. I've never been much of a hard shell person.
Hey, Draco, would you like to hear a pun?
Sure.
Man, I can't help it when I have to deal with two physicists that are getting into an argument with each other. It turns into a work of science friction.
Ha! Love that. Yeah, Robot, I'm sorry. I'm just not a huge fan of tacos. It might also be, like, I don't know if this will make people angry or not, but, like, I think the first time I had a taco, it was a Taco Bell taco, so do with that info what you will.
At least it's not authentic Mexicano.
And we have a pun redeem, so let's grab a pun. You know, my girlfriend broke up with me when she found out I only had 9 toes. He was lactose intolerant. Oh, another pun. Let's go with... What did the whale say after eating a ship? I can't believe I ate the whole thing! Oh, wait, hang on.
Oh, yeah. There's
1,
more.
2, 3. Okay, this time I'll grab from the tome. Alright, let's see. How did the giant know that Jack was coming? She heard Jack and the beans talk.
Hey.
What did the rope say when it got tangled? Oh no, not again! It's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I've got 2 more to read. How do you get 4 suits for just $1? You buy a deck of cards. What made the newspaper blush? It saw the comic strip.
It had to be you. It had to be you.
But on the Taco Bell front, I actually have been really liking their new cantina menu, because they have a chicken taco variant now that's like chicken, kind of like a spicy jalapeno sauce, but they also give you packets of verde salsa to kind of even things out.
Yeah.
And overall, they're actually really good. It's basically the only thing I get now when I order there.
Yeah, I usually get that and the cantina chicken burrito. I usually have my go-tos.
Is Daluna back? I guess not. There's my dashboard. There we go.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Okay, the gang's all here. Let's hop back on in. And, the Baron, the Bubba Ding Dong, which I believe Milla was reading for.
Bad news, Your Majesty. A meddling wizard has set a shop in Brusseldorf.
Damn it. Witches? Wizards? How many magic people are coming into the kingdom now?
I believe it is Athmorel, the Stormbringer.
Tell me more about this wizard. Wizards have managed to tame creation itself. They wield untold power, and are naturally distrusted by the Church. Even the High Inquisitor wouldn't dare move against them openly. Athmaral, as her name suggests, is the wizard whose domain includes both sky and storms.
She's put out a call for new apprentices, which is a rare event. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many. Droves of unwashed, glory-seeking peasants from all over the March are lining up for their chance.
Chaco?
Not just peasants, Chocolate Zombie 101 have also decided to apply. The competition will be fierce, but those peasants are no match. I will be the most powerful noble this council has ever seen.
You could put your clothes on if it wasn't for your servant's help. Can't let this go ahead. To have a potential wizard on the council would present a clear and dangerous conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest? How?
Wizards answer only to themselves. Their power is unmatched, such that entire kingdoms cannot stand against them. Even an apprentice on the council would be disastrous. Count Chocolate Zombie 101 could use magic to interfere with votes, or you for that matter.
What if I learned magic? Let's assemble the council.
Cheers, Your Highness.
Alright, council, what do we do about this wizard business? Do we allow Count Chocolate Zombie 101 to become Athmarel's apprentice? This will raise and lower defiance accordingly. B. Do we require he forfeits his noble title in order to become an apprentice? This will lower his wealth by 2,200 and increase the treasury by 2,200. Or C. Do we forbid Chocolate Zombie 101 from traveling to Brusseldorf? This will raise and lower defiance accordingly. I mean, I know what I like. Who would like some free money for B? I get money.
I'd say we should vote for A. You know, we should let him have a chance to be a wizard. What could possibly go wrong?
It's true, but like,
Hey, you know what?
you could get money, and I could get money. Everybody wins. I mean, not Chaco in this instance, because he wants to be a wizard, but...
Yeah, I would prefer A.
Damn, unanimously, you're all just going... Well, and yep. Unanimously, you all want Chaco to learn magic. Voting
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've played a magic user.
fair enough. Well, Chaco will become Athmarel's apprentice.
I think actually in all of the campaigns I played in this community, I've yet to play a character that isn't magic based.
I know I haven't.
I mean, I had Elise, who was a spellcaster, I had Lilith, who was a spellcaster, and now I have Vesca, who is also a spellcaster, and I have Bolting, your campaign Draco, who is also a spellcaster.
True.
Spells for days. By the night, how will he keep up with his noble duties? He'd be spending all this time in the march with this wizard. And what if, Knight preserve us, he actually passes his apprenticeship? There'll never be a wizard on the council. There's never been a wizard on the council before.
You never know. Might liven things up around here. Chaco?
Sorry. You've nothing to fear from me, Your Highness. I always have the kingdom's interests at heart. Even as a wizard, these tacos are delicious.
Count Chocolate Zombie 101 sets off immediately on his journey to the marsh. Athmarel's presence in Brusseldorf attracts all sorts of visitors, though the power of her latent magic starts to wilt crops for miles around. The farming has gone down in the marsh, but hey, their trade has gone up.
Are you eating in the council hall? Who says I can't?
I mean, it was never established as a rule, to be fair. Sitting on a beach outside a sun-bleached villa, two patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. Daluna?
The thrice-cursed king is still refusing to sell any public land.
It
It makes sense. The treasury's not exactly suffering right now. Patience, my friend. Let's bide our time until the king's gold runs out.
Christian's aim is to lower the treasury to 1,500 or less. That's why I was really hoping that I would get that 2,200, but it is what it is. Everyone seems to be doing pretty well. The barons aren't. Just gonna... Actually, nah. There we go. Let's see. Prying eyes, new laborers, and the witch. Which one first? Let's do prying eyes first.
Your Majesty, you are, of course, the greatest king of this century.
Why, thank you.
No thanks required, Your Highness. I speak only the truth, as I see plain. But your power could be even greater. Death comes for us all, but what if it didn't have to? What if you could be the greatest king for all millennia?
What are you saying?
Simply that there are opportunities for your reign beyond what you may have imagined, Your Grace, and I believe you are strong enough to take them. I can arrange for meetings so that we may discuss this matter further.
The door bursts open. Ah, so we got to you first. No matter. The counts of agents everywhere, and they've been building your strength, but there's something more sinister afoot. Their ultimate goal is to recruit you into a cult of immortal blood drinkers.
What a tale. All we want is to help the king.
Is this true?
Oh, of course not.
This is heresy of the highest order. The council must know. Alright, council, what do we do? Do you force me to officially refuse to join this cult? This will lower my authority. B, do we prevent the counts from seeking private audiences with the king, which will delay their scheme for one season? Or C, do we just let the counts do whatever the fuck they want? What could possibly go wrong, right? Right. The choice is yours.
I'm going to say...
I mean, above board, B isn't so great an idea because this is like the end of their plans. And also, my plans require authority, so delaying doesn't really help much.
Uh-oh.
But it does look like you're forcing me to not take part in this cult. No vampirism for Dan II.
Yeah, but something worse just happened.
What? What do you mean? No, authority went up and down. Well, that's fine. The nobles leave you no choice. You sign a statement saying that you're not interested in immortality. Not one bit. Well, let's see about this witch. When you arrive at the creepy Marcher Aqueduct for your meeting with a witch, first thing you notice is the lack of birdsong. It's quiet. Too quiet. Goosebumps prickle your skin. Would anyone like to read for the witch?
Greetings, King.
Greetings.
Well, what do you need, King? I am a busy woman.
Who are you?
My name is Lack, of course. I know who you are.
I mean, I am king. I'd be surprised if you didn't. You said you could help me solve these disappearances, witch?
Well, first off, I'm not a witch, I'm a wizard. Witches are given their power like a baby given a toy, whereas wizards was clawed from the universe's greedy clutches.
Ah, I see.
The disappearances are because people here have a tendency to fall between the cracks. They're lost forever, I'm afraid. There's nothing I can do about that.
Then why am I here? You're a wizard. I've never heard of you.
I'm a relatively new wizard. I only passed my apprenticeship a few years ago.
Tell me, Lack, what's wrong with this cursed place?
Unfortunately, King, you made a mistake. You went and built your fancy aqueduct in what is known as a thin place. A thin place, somewhere where the walls between worlds are flimsy. Out here, a witch, wizard, or demon could smash these walls down from this side or from the other.
And what do you suggest I do?
Lend me some scholars from Quail University to assist with my research. Together, we can shore up with the walls between worlds. You could even get your aqueduct back.
I mean, that sounds like a valid plan. Such matters require the attention of the council, of course. You travel back to the capital and call a vote. Well, council, what do we do? Do we send scholars to assist with whatever Lack is doing? That will lower faith. B, do we let Lack continue her research but unaided? That'll make things more difficult for her, but we don't really lose anything from that. Or C, do we just destroy the aqueduct and forbid anyone from visiting the area? That will raise faith, raise defiance, lower farming, and lower the military, so not a great option. I'm gonna let you all vote how you may. Alright, so far we have 3 votes for sending scholars to assist.
Send me, why don't you, while we're at it?
Look, you're already trying to get an apprenticeship with one witch, and one wizard, and she just got out of apprenticeship, to be fair. Right, Robot hasn't placed his vote, but it looks like it's near unanimous. So, voting is closed. You send scholars to assist Lack in her research. There are rumors in the marsh that you're assisting a witch with her dark magic, but you can't do anything about the ignorance of the peasants. Let's see what this is about laborers.
My liege, I have a proposition for you. As we all know, you are the greatest king who ever lived, but you've been locking a lot of people up. Which is your right, of course, only. Many of them are the pettiest of criminals. There are thousands locked up for illegally dumping human waste, for example. Most of them will make good laborers and farmhands, which we sorely need in the marsh. Perhaps we can work out a deal.
Alright, council, do we work out this deal? Accept gold in exchange for petty criminals. This will raise the treasury up by 750, it will lower authority, raise farming, and lower wealth. We could donate the prisoners for free. That will lower authority, lower defiance, and raise farming. Or C, do we keep the waste dumpers where they are? That'll just lower stability. But hey, if you want some gold, you could vote for A. Just throwing that out there. Alright. We only got 1 vote in so far. Oh, well. The patricians want to keep the waste dumpers where they are. The barons are unanimous in voting for A, as the patricians are in C, so it comes down to where Chaco wants to place his vote. Chaco? Oh, and there it goes. Looks like we're accepting gold in exchange for the prisoners. Queen changes hands, and soon a large number of the so-called criminals are sent to the marsh to work the fields. Barons are grateful for your patronage, and the marshers' crops thrive thanks to the extra fertilization. I'm surprised they haven't given the call for a possible rebellion yet, considering how high your defiance is.
About that.
While playing a game of chess in an austere castle, 2 counts of the East discuss their schemes against the crown.
Oh, most pleasing. The king is drunk with power. He's mandated statues of himself be built in every major city.
Our sculptors are doing well, I hear.
Better still, it means time is ripe. I mean, he already declined our offer, but
Oh.
I was...
Shit. I accidentally hit the arrow twice, my bad. I thought that was the point, immortality and all that.
Yes, but those secrets are meant to be, well, kept secret. What if we pulled the wool over his eyes?
Alright, Chaco, the choice is yours. Do you plan a false immortality ritual for me that will kill me? You will need to lower your own defiance for that one. Or do you induct the king into a real secret society of immortal blood drinkers? You just need to raise your own farming, which is already near max. Voting is
All right.
closed.
Easier.
Yeah?
We have to go about this finally.
Mm.
We have to rebel in order to keep them at bay.
Alright.
But very well, we must prepare for the ritual.
Yes, I'll begin appeasing the spirits of the soil, but first we must enrich our lands.
By the blood of the dead, it won't be long now. Unless something catastrophic happens.
For the final stage of their scheme, the counts must raise their farming to at least 10. 1 point away.
1 point away.
Alright, let's see. The monarch's vote, preferred voting, anonymous voting, or the call for unity. I'm good with the ones I have, thanks. Cast out, shark attacks, undercutting. Let's go... Shark attacks sound like it could be a problem. Upsetting news from the coast, Your Majesty. Several peasants have been killed by a shark. I've already sent your condolences. Excellent.
Daluna.
Daluna?
You cannot close my beach!
No one mentioned closing a...
That beach is is vital for coastal tourism. You can't close it just because a few people got to the wrong end of a fish.
Well, now I want to close it.
You can't! I'll take this all the way to the council!
Alright, Council, what do? Do we go full Jaws and let them just do what they want? Do we keep the beach open? This will lower defiance, lower trade, lower farming, and lower stability. B. Do we hire an adventurer to hunt down the man-eater? C. Do we shut down the beach, which will raise defiance, lower the wealth, raise stability, but lower trade? Or D. Do we turn the shark itself into a tourist attraction? That will lower defiance, raise trade, and raise the wealth of the partitions. Partitions. Let me see. I mean, I do like adventurers. I mean, that costs money, but still.
Time for chaos.
How will the rest of the nobles vote, though? We'll just have to see. Okay. Mila says to shut down the beach. Chaka wants to do the touristy thing. Bubba has joined, so it looks like shutting down the beach is in a decent position, but Daluna has done the shark attraction route. Well, it's a dead even split unless Robot comes in with the deciding vote. Alright, and
Aha!
it seems we're going to be turning the shark itself into a tourist attraction.
Suddenly, I turned into the mayor from Jaws 1.
You did, yeah.
It's genius! We'll flip this on its head!
The patricians immediately mount an impressive public relations campaign. Come to Prosper Beach. See the world-famous man-eating shark. Thrill seekers welcome. More people are dying than ever. But at least they've all signed waivers. Everyone's happy, especially the shark, which grows fat indeed. Hooray! Huh. Cast out. Chalka, you look a little different. Did you do something to your hair?
It's an outrage. It's undignified. She can't do this. Blood and stars.
Why is there a skeleton in front of me?
It's me, Chocolate Zombie 101. I was struck by lightning on my first day, and every inch of flesh on my body evaporated. The Lady of the Storm gave me a second chance, but now she's cast me out. She says I have no discernible magical acumen, whatever that means. I demand vengeance. Show Athmoral what it means to insult a member of King Dan II's council.
Alright, Council, what do? Do we A. Do nothing? That'll raise defiance and lower authority. B. Do we demand compensation for the loss of Chocolate Zombie 101's flesh? That is a coin flip. C. Do we arrest Athmoral for the crime of skeletonization? Or D. A skeleton cannot be a count. Chocolate Zombie 101's lands must be forfeited. Defiance will go up, wealth will go down, and the treasury will be boosted by 2,800.
I'd say we do nothing, in all fairness.
Yeah. I mean...
Or a little bit of authority.
That's, up to the council. I mean, it's gonna be difficult to arrest a wizard, in fairness. Especially a storm wizard. As much as I'd like to go with that option, I feel like that's, like, the most difficult option.
have no feelings one way or another.
On the other hand, a coin flip.
True, could do a coin flip. I mean, I also like D, because it makes the treasury obscene, but I didn't think anyone was going to vote for that one. Alright. Seems option A is the favored option. Do nothing. The council knows not to tangle with wizards. If Chocolate Zombie 101 was turned into a skeleton, he probably deserved it, in fairness. Indignant, Count Chocolate Zombie 101 returns to his old estate, where he promptly dies. As it turns out, proximity to Athmorel's magic was the only thing keeping him alive.
Oof.
Well, Choco is dead. Chocolate Zombie 101 II has joined the council. Dang, my authority's not looking so hot right now.
I want to speak to you today about a delicate matter, your most august majesty. It concerns the iron trade.
You might have to explain a bit further.
Well, the East is full of vast and full of natural reserves. Iron being the most bountiful. The counts make a killing off it. Of course, who needs iron more than the barons? How else will we make their world-famous weapons and armor? The Marcher steel industry practically relies on good relations with the counts. Traditionally, we partitions have facilitated the trade, making sure that it's a fair deal to reach on both sides. Yet now, the barons buy from the counts directly. They're cutting us out of the deal! You can't let them get away with that!
I mean, that just sounds like clever business to me.
Your Highness, please! Just call for a council vote, will you?
Very well then.
My eternal thanks, your august majesty.
I mean, it's... excuse me, it's fair. Do we A. Force the barons to continue buying iron through the patricians, raise and lower defiance accordingly, trade goes up and down accordingly, and wealth will go up for the patricians. B. Do we allow the free market to sort this one out? Defiance will go up and down accordingly, trade the same, excuse me, and the patricians will lose wealth. C. Do we bring the iron trade under the authority of the king rather than patricians? That will raise authority, raise defiance, lower trade, lower, I believe, the patricians by 300 their wealth, and get for the treasury 1,200. Well, I know what I like. Or D, do we just ban the sale of iron altogether? That will raise authority, lower the wealth of the patricians, raise defiance, lower trade. That just sounds stupid. Iron is too useful.
I agree with Bubba's assumption. You should have been fair with the Springwood prices, patrician. Let's let capitalism sort itself out.
That's fair. Or you could get gold if you vote for C. Let the king be the one in charge of the iron trade. I'm a neutral
let's
party.
Not get too hasty about that. You're so fond of capitalism, I say we go with that.
Alright, it looks like the Linux gone for A. How will the barons vote? B or C? Or D? But D sounds absolutely asinine. Right, Bubba has chosen B. Milla, where will you place your vote?
Well, shoot, I thought I typed it in chat. Vote B.
Alright. Then it's up to me to decide. Do we force them to buy through the patricians, or do we allow the free market? Honestly, given these two, let the free market sort this one out. Patricians will just have to get better at doing business. Sorry. Turns out that the free market doesn't care all that much about the patricians' woes, and nothing can convince the counts and the barons to stop doing business. This lowers defiance for the Martian East, and the coast goes up. Patricians lose a grip on their monopoly, while the other regions' economics thrive. The coast has gone down to a 9 in trade, and have lost their wealth. The marsh has gone up, and the east has gone up. And that ends the season. So I still don't have an heir, but this will be the end of the season. The east is maxed. The patricians of the coast are at rank 2 of 3, and the barons are still in their first stage.
You guys could rebel. Didn't you guys vote for the rebel?
We
Yeah,
voted
but
for rebellion, but unfortunately the authority is too high.
yeah.
And stability is too high. So
Your
we need to bring that down in order to be able to prop the rebellion.
yeah. Your heir. Your quest for an heir is finally complete. You stand before the council holding a small child in your arms. Should I die, I ask the crown be passed down to... The council hall is filled with nervous silence. You know what? I'm gonna change things up. My daughter. The assembled nobles break out in polite applause. By designating an heir, you have cemented the stability of the kingdom.
Hold on. Golf clap.
Daluna.
Also, Daluna, you're lying.
Your line.
Your esteemed highness, may I be the first to congratulate you on the birth of your daughter. What is her name?
Damn this third. We have no creativity with the naming of royals here.
Most excellent, your esteemed highness. I'm sure that little Dan the Third will be the chip off the old block.
It's short for Danielle.
Yeah.
Congratulations on finding an heir. Now you just need to fulfill your ambition to win the game. Expect a visit from the Spy Master soon. Right? Let's see how Lack's proposal is going. Who was reading for Lack? I believe it was Chaco.
Yeah, it was me. Thank you for sending those scholars to assist me in my research, King. They have proven most helpful. Unfortunately, several of them expired. Others vanished. The 2 survivors ran away. Good luck to them. I have everything I need. I can shore up the walls between worlds and fix your aqueduct if you like.
Okay, at least there's some good news here, because with what you started with, I was concerned it went the other way.
Or I could crack open the walls between worlds and steal something from the realm on the other side. It would be dangerous, but the rewards could be tremendous.
Well, Council, what should we do? Do we steal something from another world? Or do we fix the walls of reality around the aqueduct? I mean, B is the safer option. But there could be anything on the other side of the world. Could even be a boat. You know
I'm
how much
going
you
to
want one of
argue
those.
that not only is it the safer option, but it's the cheaper option.
True. But feel free to place your votes.
Yeah. It could be anything. It could even be a box.
Could. Right, let's see how the other nobles vote. Right, it looks like it's a near unanimous decision, with 3 seconds left on the clock. Alright. Voting is closed. We're going to just seal this problem up. Draco?
Really? Very well. I'll do as you ask. It should only take a few weeks.
Listen, the offer was tempting, but, like, we've already lost a significant amount of people.
No, your loss, I suppose.
Lack is as good as her word. Within a fortnight, she's gone. And when people return to the aqueduct, they find that the creepy feeling has vanished.
Cheers, Your Highness, for returning my aqueduct to its former glory.
Little did they know what was on the other side was indeed the Fortnite Island.
I mean, honestly, we're better off then. Daluna?
Your Serene Highness, a great beach well is washed up on the shore of the coast, right outside my villa. However, before I could order the servants to harvest its blubber, the finfolk crawled into the sand and begged me for an audience with the king.
Oh, I've always wanted to meet one of the denizens of the sea. Your hopes are fulfilled when a frog-faced green-skinned...
I'll read this one as well.
Okay. Green-skinned man walks in, his flippers slapping against the marble.
Your Majesty, this well was named Tarkus. She was wise and gentle and a friend to the finfolk.
Was she made of iron? Sorry, Dark Souls reference, you wouldn't understand.
We request her return, so we can send her soul into the great abyss with honor.
In what way was this whale your friend?
She kept sharks away, banished our gloom with her beautiful songs, and provided us boundless milk.
Aww.
Please, return her to us so we can give her a proper burial. Depths below! You can't seriously be considering this. Your esteemed highness, the beast is dead!
Alright, Council, what do we do? Do we let Lord Patriciano Robot harvest the dead whale? It will raise his wealth by 1,500, raise trade, lower defiance, and lower farming. B, do we return the dead whale to the Finfolk? This will raise defiance and farming. Or C, that will make a fine trophy in the King's throne room. That'll just raise defiance. The choice is yours!
I am going to vote against Robot. Sorry. Because I'm like, look, I don't want to mess with the Finfolk. They might have weapons that could use against our people on the coast.
Clown Emperor Supreme, as of... Excuse me.
You're excused.
As of right now, the patricians and the barons both have 2, and the counts only have just me. So if you joined at random, you would probably be put into my corner.
Yeah, and I'm showing the nobles list just to show that off.
But in all fairness, the game can do whatever it wants, so you could be shoved wherever.
Yeah. Voting is closed.
I think somebody said there is a way to you can actually specifically vote where you want to go, but I think that's only if you own the game.
Yeah. You would list
Because I think there are settings within the game where you can mark your preference to where you want to go.
I think also, like, if you type join your pronouns and the region you want, it'll let you just go to wherever you want.
Mm-hmm.
But, Daluna?
By the 9th, I can't believe this! The animal was already dead! Thank you, Your Majesty. The Finfolk owe you a great debt.
Using excuse me. Using a huge crane and a team of oxen, The rotting whale is lifted and placed upon wooden rollers. Without ceremony, it is plopped back into the ocean. From that point on, coastal fishermen report their catches having never been better. Grateful finfolk literally herd fish toward their nets. Right, and that is it for this season. Alright, it's time to auction, everyone. For the barons, they can lower their faith or lower their lower the authority. The crown. The counts could raise farming or raise trade. And the patricians can raise their faith or lower their farming. Let's get to auctioning.
We cannot let them... We cannot let the counts have their aqueducts, otherwise they win.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure we vote for stuff that is not for that.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to spend more than 2,500 apiece.
Yeah, you're gonna have to unify on 2 different buildings. Because it can still get second
I say
place.
focus fire on the theater.
Ah, the theater.
The theater? I like the theater.
We could go to the cathedral. I mean, you do need to fund 2 different buildings more than 2,500. And there's 18 seconds on the clock.
I will help you.
Okay, an observatory.
Oh, damn it, I pressed B instead of A. No.
Well, I mean, it's not a huge loss if you do the observatory and the theater. You just have to get them both up. Time's up.
You had a big boost there, that's why.
Well,
I was trying to put B.
the aqueduct and the theater have now gone in, meaning the counts have their final measure. The Eternal Monarch. It's a bright morning. You're enjoying your breakfast when a letter arrives from Count Chocolate Zombie 101 II, inviting you to his keep. Encoded in the letter, you recognize the symbol of the Count's secret society, along with a hidden message your heart quickens. In exchange for control of your throne, you shall live forever. This is it. It's time for your eternity to begin. Your wife Dominica looks over her cup at you fondly. It's nice to see you so happy, darling. Would you like to live forever with me? What? The counts have offered me quite a deal. As you explain your plan for immortality, Dominica's eyes widen. I can't say I'd expected you to suggest such a thing, but, you know, I think we'd make a lovely immortal couple. Then let's do this. For your voyage to the east, you decide on a modest carriage with fast horses. Best not to be seen on your way. It's nightfall when you and Dominica arrive, and Count Chocolate Zombie 101 II hurries you inside, down cold stone steps. To the cellars, you blink in the darkness. I hope you have refreshments. His teeth glimmer in the dark.
I'm sure we can arrange something, Your Grace. My father was quite well off, Queen Consort, but you'll soon be beyond that.
You follow him into a wide chamber lit with dozens of candles. A circle of sigils is daubed on the floor with something thick and dark. Looking at the shape sends shivers down the back of your neck. There's a strange quality to the stone as you walk. With each step it feels as though your foot is sinking. Yet when you look down, the floor is solid as ever. Robed figures surround the circle. Their faces are hidden, but as they chant, their voices echo, as though the chamber is much larger than it appears. Welcome, welcome! The spirits are with us this night. We are to ascend the throne in exchange for providing our illustrious king and queen consort eternal life. This won't hurt, will it? A little pain is nothing compared to eternity, Your Majesty. Bogdan helps you and Dominica into the middle of the circle. The hair on your arms prickles unpleasantly. The chanting rises. As the counts pass a gold chalice around the circle, each one takes a sip. Count Bogdan hands it to you solemnly. The chalice is filled with blood. Drink, Your Majesty, and be fortified. You shall live forever. I don't usually drink blood, but alright. You hold the chalice to your lips and drink. It's warm, metallic, and has an odd, smoky aftertaste. Not the most pleasant thing you've drunk, but not the least either. As you stand there in the circle, your arms tingle, your head swims, and you stagger. Stand firm, your majesty! Immortality! Eternity! Blood! The air in the chamber thickens, and a red, swirling mist rises from the stones. Chanting fills your ears, and heat steams through your veins. Something dark that you can't quite see closes down upon you, and Dominica from the ceiling, settling on your shoulders before fading, somehow into you. The crown, the throne, it feels so distinct now, mediocre, small. Bogdan of the East is welcome to it. Your reign is over, but your immortal life with Dominica has only just begun. And the counts are victorious.
I finally won!
Hell yeah!
That was a good time to shut her down for the night.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Grand Baron Naominarius just joined in. But
Apologies for that, but like it is almost 11, so
that's true. Let's read the conclusion. For immortality, King Dan II was happy to give up the throne. He retreated to a dark sanctum in the east, joining the elder counts in hiding from the inquisitors and the sun, along with his wife Dominica. The patricians attempted to buy the kingdom ended in failure. Bankruptcies were filed. Marks were scratched in secret ledgers. The risk-reward calculus wasn't favorable. Perhaps next time. All that remained of the Baron's attempt to usurp the crown was a prisoner, deep under the castle, clad in an iron mask and shrouded in rumor. Before abdicating, King Dan II made it very clear that Bogdan was the legitimate heir. The other nobles could never work out how the counts had pulled it off. Meanwhile, in the east, a secret society was expanded by 2 members. King Dan II, the Eternal. The game lasted 2 years and 6 months. Spouse was Dominica of the Coast, and the successor was King Bogdan. In the nobles, our richest noble was Daluna 13 with 3,000 gold, and our poorest was Millaninja with a flat 0. The king...
Because I spent everything and you could have saved it.
Yeah. Our current end game for the kingdom, authorities at 7, stabilities at 10, and the treasuries at a whopping 3,400 gold. The barons have a 6 in trade, 7 in farming, 9 in military, 3 in faith, and 6 in defiance. All around good stats for the barons. The counts have an 8 in trade, 10 in farming, 4 in military, 1 in faith, and 4 in defiance. Also pretty good stats. And lastly, our patricians have a 9 in trade, 9 in farming, 6 in military, no faith, and 7 in defiance. So, whenever we do start the next game, the patricians and the barons will be primed for rebellion right out the gate if we can't get if they can get authority down. But with that, we'll be ending things off for the night. Let's start rounding things out. Starting with Milla, where can people find you when you're not here?
Well, you can find me over on the brand site, Millaninja Nerd, also on Twitch at Blue Sky at Millaninja. Return to be determined because stuff was popping up on my end. Opposite of these nights, you can also find me at twitch.tv/thejake every other Tuesday, where we go through a dossier anthologies, Legacy of the Dealbreakers Volume 2, where the party has successfully rescued a Naya that was being corrupted by a bad benefactor, a malefactor, I guess you could call it. Seeing that her home headwaters have been corrupted, she has decided to travel with the party. What will happen as we continue to leave away? Find out next week. You can also find us every Tuesday night at Burnout Fun's channel, where I DM for Phase of Our Lives, the Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign. The party has got some gifts from a rather beneficial wizard, and they also have gained an owlbear companion who is hungry, who is nice for now. They have currently been accosted by a dryad, possibly, or some other fey being. How will that encounter come down? Tune in when we continue that in 2 weeks' time. But I'm gonna go ahead and bounce out. Good night, everybody. Daluna, you're next. Go.
Okay. Hello, my name is Daluna13. You can find me on Twitter at Daluna1338. You can find me on anywhere else you want to find me at Daluna13, including on YouTube, where I just posted in the last week 3 new shorts. One of which I'm really proud of, which is about seeing, like, the videos of what would you do, and it's showing a bunch of, like, 2-foot wide crabs. I'm like, yeah, no, those things are worth $500 a piece. Get the net.
Yeah, no, I'd be eating those things is what I'd do.
But yeah, find me on there. Find me next Tuesday here, though, for Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. We are going to be going through the final part of the DLC, which is sadly the most time-intensive part. I'm hoping Draco here has been doing some grinding.
I may have overground. I'm at level 99 now. I found a good spot to grind, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll go all the way to max. Why not? Who's gonna stop me?
No, actually, that's not overgrinding. For what you need to do, and for what we're about to fight, that's actually good.
I mean, I managed to do it at 93 before, so, like, I consider it overgrinding, but I will be prepared at the very least.
Because we gotta figure out what the hell happened to Sora.
Mm-hmm.
I feel kind of bad for Riku because he saw something that he doesn't have yet, which is Terra Agua and Ven's armor to go through the darkness.
Yeah.
And he clearly looked like, wait, where's mine? Why don't I have that?
How do I get Keyblade armor? That set looks cool as shit. I imagine his armor would have purple and red mixed into it.
Most likely. Or be based off, if it's like the others, it'll be based off off his Master Blade.
That makes sense. So it'll look like car keys?
Well, we'll find out hopefully in 4, which I'm hoping Gamescom will see something. I doubt we will, though.
You never know.
That's going on right now, and the keynote speech for day 1 didn't reveal anything, but you never know. Anyway, Tuesday, you'll also find me in Chago, hopefully, schedule permitting, for Power Rangers Cyber Strike. We've got a big battle going on right now, and yeah. Chaco, speaking of which, you go ahead.
Hello, I'm Chocolate Zombie 101. You find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, with Sky and Ko-Fi, some form of Chocolate Zombie 101. Tuesdays, you can find me over on Burnout's channel when we do Phase of Our Lives. You can find me on Twitch's channel, Twitch Person, when we do Power Rangers tomorrow night. And Wednesdays, you can find all 3 of us over on Draco's channel for our Curses Draw campaign, Barovia and Odyssey. And then aside from that, Fridays, you can find me over on twitch.tv/Edward Bosco's channel for, excuse me, for MNW Friday Night Flashbang, Multiverse Nexus Wrestling. It's a big ol' E-Fed that we do on Twitch using WWE 2K24. If you like wrestling video games and you like watching a bunch of community-created characters beat each other up and through AI jousting, come on down. Our WrestleMania, Multivania, is coming up on the 31st and September 1st, so tune in for that if you want to see the finale of many storylines and also potentially Nexus shenanigans.
Alright. And that just leaves me. You've already found me here. I stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays. On Monday, you can join me for Persona 5 Royal, where we've just stolen Kamoshida's heart, so now we just gotta figure out who our next target's gonna be, maybe lay a little low for a little bit, talk with our confidants, get our stats up, you know, the usual stuff. Tuesdays, when we're not over at Burnout Fawns for Phase of Our Lives, like Luna said, you're going to find us here for the 13th episode of Kingdom Hearts 3, where we battle the true Organization 13, or as I like to call them, the Order of Xehanorts.
Wait a minute, is it actually the 13th episode?
It is, in fact, the 13th episode, yes.
Okay, we need to make sure that that's the finale, then. We can't go further than that.
Yeah, we didn't plan this or anything, it just sort of happened to happen this way.
Again, chat, I did not know this until literally right now.
Yeah.
He didn't tell me that.
So
But
I
we
think
can't.
I
We have to. I'm not working tomorrow or Thursday till 4 o'clock. I'm good.
I think
Let's go.
I might have mentioned it like last Wednesday, but I guess you didn't hear me, or you forgot because you didn't respond when I said it. But hey, that's fine. We're here now. Wednesday, you can catch us back here with Choco and Daluna and Broadenrod and Onyx Locket and Yelling at Me and Than, also known as Onyx. Oh wait, I said Onyx Locket. I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Royal Hoshi. Thank you.
I was gonna say, how do you forget Hoshi? Come on.
I don't know. There's a lot of names, and I got lost at some point, admittedly. Because I'm like,
Also, like, I just saw the prompt for it. I'm gonna say, if you watched last week's episode, I was accidentally muted.
yeah.
I'm going to bug him to make sure that the mic is on as soon as we start next Tuesday.
Yeah, that's fair. I can't even blame you for that, because, yeah, I fucked up. Anyway, our heroes, the Night Slayers, have taken down the powerful Tree Blight Winter Splinter, and they battled the Gulthis Tree, and a bunch of different blights that attacked them along the way. Can they manage to beat the last two blights and kill the tree once and for all? Probably. Let's be real, probably.
I still petition we should change our team name to the Lumberjacks because we've been cutting down so many trees.
That's fair. I mean, I don't know how many more trees you're gonna encounter is the thing. This is probably the end of tree-based enemies, but we'll have to see. Tune in to find out if that's true. And what they'll be doing after they finally clear out the evil tree from Yesterhill. Thursdays, you can catch us here for party games. We play all sorts of games, like King of the Castle, for example, as well as some Jackbox, some Rift Tracks, occasionally Baldur's Gate 3, all that fun stuff. Friday, last but not least, you can catch me here for Spirit Tracks, where I will be going back to the Tower of Spirits and seeing how Anjin is doing now that we finished up most of the temples. Oh, Clown Emperor, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. And that about does it for me. How about we find someone to raid? I think Rabbit is live.
Yeah. I was just say I have Sensuna, MG McFly, Onyx Strider is also live doing some Final Fantasy 14. I have Connor, and then I have Rabbit. I had Dr. Caliban, but he just finished up as we were wrapping up.